Jewish people put the kippah.
Kippah. I wrote to you about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know.
Can you put yes?
Well, first of all, it's not written in the Torah anywhere about covering the head.
Yeah.
But I believe that first of all, it's symbolic, the division between heaven and earth. The other thing is, if you are going to make a blessing or say a prayer, it is respectful to cover your head. This is a cultural Mediterranean or even desert behavior. That covering the head, you need protection from the sun.
Yes.
So when the rabbis explained where does this custom come from, they said, well, in the Bible it says that Jacob was going, leaving his parents, home, and he was going to find a bride in Padan Aram. He was going on a several days journey. Do you think he would go somewhere without his head covered? So they said, you cannot take 3 steps without the head covered. Now, when I said, before the Reformation and conservatism, all Jews were Orthodox, the ones who observed the laws and the rituals. But there were always those who do not observe. There were always those say, I don't care, or I am ignorant, I don't know. But this is part of the head covering. I think is a very Middle Eastern thing. You don't see Arabs walk, or Druze, or any of the other religions of the Middle East walking without head covering, or going anywhere without head covering. Even as far away, let's say, as Bukhara, the people, they're all.
So it's a
Muslims,
kind of identity.
It's a cultural thing. The Europeans tip the hat to show respect, or take the hat off when they come into a building. Well, it's cold there. The sun is impinging on you all the time. But even the Pope, the Catholic Pope,
he has
so respect between me and
God.
earth and heaven.
And
so
another question.
It's also interesting that Hasidim, the different, very Orthodox sects, the Haredim, they all have different kinds of hats. But everyone has a hat. Why different? That identifies what city or what they came from. But it's always to cover the head.
And on a similar question, I see most of Orthodox Jews in Jerusalem, they put on always with their suit, and they leave their hair like
long.
Long and somewhere.
Okay, because there is a commandment not to shave the corners of the head. It was to oppose the pagan custom in Canaan, in the land of Canaan, in the land of Israel, where this was a sign of the pagan priesthood, and it was also a sign of mourning. And when the Jews mourn, they let their beards grow. They don't cut the beard. It's a sign of mourning. It is, to a certain extent, a sign of neglect. But yes, you asked the question about even cutting the hair. There are Jewish customs about cutting the hair. The side cars, this is also a commandment. You should have a growth of hair on the side of your head. But not everyone observes this. As you see, I don't observe this.
You have this.
I have sideburns, but I don't have the curtain. But you see, there are certain times of the year where we do not cut our hair.
Really?
Right, between Passover and Shavuot, the 7 weeks, you may only cut the hair on specific dates, on holidays. It is considered a period of relative mourning. People are not supposed to marry during this period of time, except on the new moon, or on a holiday we call Lag BaOmer. And this is a later, Second Temple and later time, not biblical injunction. But let's take some very simple things, the daily things that people do. That there is a blessing for everything you do. You bless the fact that you have, that your body works, you know, that you have bodily function.
Yes.
Right? And so you make a blessing. You have to wash your hands and then make the blessing. The whole idea of washing is enshrined in Jewish custom. Before every ritual thing that you do, you wash. Even after touching a book and before eating, you wash, because the water is a kind of sacrament. It makes you holy, it makes you clean, it purifies you. And the Torah is also called like water, that it purifies. If you deal in Torah, if you study, you are purifying yourself. This is also, on the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. It is called the Sabbath of all Sabbaths during the year. And the Sabbath is the most holy day, even though it comes every week.
Sabbath.
Right, Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Why? But on Yom Kippur, when we beg forgiveness, it's not we beg forgiveness one from the other, but from the laws that we did not observe, not because of the interpersonal. The interpersonal, we have to beg forgiveness from the person we offend. But the laws that we do not observe, then they are sins. We admit them and ask forgiveness on the Day of Atonement, once a year.
So Yom Kippur is a day of forgiveness.
Yes, but it is in doing that. How do we show that we are contrite? How do we show that we want to be forgiven, that we want to correct our ways? We do this by fasting, by not eating. Eating is one of the most important pleasures that we have. Eating is what keeps us alive. But fasting also can be very cathartic if you are not eating, if you're not. Right? Okay. You are sacrificing a little bit of the fat.
So it's a kind of punishing yourself.
But, you are punishing. It is penance. But it also, if you're not eating and drinking, your mind is in a different place. It can be more introspective. It can be more self-searching. And so that is the importance of the Day of Atonement. Now we must see, I talked earlier about Abraham and the ram that he sacrificed instead of Isaac. This is what we read on the New Year. The New Year is the beginning, the creation of the world, right? The first day, as it were. But it is also the day of the Akedah. It is also the birthday of Father Isaac. And so we consider this day. So what do we do on this day? We blow the ram's horn. Because this is from the sacrifice of the ram. Oh. Now, what is blowing the horn? It's announcing the king is coming. Who is the king? The
Messiah.
God above us. So, you see, it is all very interrelated. But again, I show you, this is ritual on the one hand. But there is a morality side involved in this very much. And this is a part of the problem of reforming Orthodoxy, in that you loosen things up, you make it less obvious, you make the connection between the ritual and the philosophical content less clear.
And coming to the Torah, what like we have the Old Testament, Bible, and we have the Torah.
The
So
Torah
what is
is
the
the 5
difference?
books, and the prophets and writings. But, as I said, in many ways, aside from it being the epic story of our people narrative and the laws, most of the stories in the Bible are people not doing the laws. In other words, we do the wrong things. People make poor choices. But the Jewish law explains what the Torah means and tells us how to observe. So, from the time of the destruction of the temple, the wise men, the rabbis of the time say, we are the ones who decide. God gave us the law, but we are the ones who have to understand how to do it. So we make the decisions. We decide when there is a leap year. We decide when the holiday falls. We decide what is a truly ritual slaughter or not. We decide all sorts of things. So we give everything over to them. From this, we get a book called the Mishnah, which Mishnah is 6 volumes of the laws that are in the Torah and how to observe them. And for example, when it says you must return a lost object, the commandment, it tells you under what conditions, how, and it's discussed and it's argued. You can do it like this, you can do it like, you're not obligated if it's in an open public space and has no, well, you know, and these, so that's the 6 books of the Mishnah. From the 6 books of the Mishnah, over 200 years written. After that, there is a period of time when they said, but the laws here in the Mishnah are also too cryptic. We do not really understand what, how to. So they are developed both in the Babylonian exile and here in the land of Israel, the Gemara, the Gemara is an expansion. Now it also is full of anecdotes and stories in this, but mostly it is arguing on how to observe the law. And there is always a majority opinion and a minority opinion. And in different generations, we follow either the majority or sometimes we follow the minority.
So which means the Torah gives a room for different interpretation for different generations.
Yeah, but to understand how to do it today, each day, in each generation, you need the decision of the wise men, of the rabbis. Now, today, there is, and even in early times, there were people who disagree with the decisions of the wise men, either because they feel they are too stringent, or they are, or oh, this one is corrupt. How can I follow? You know. So this is what brings about reformation of laws. But it is always based on precedent that started in the biblical time. But this is all ritual inside here. You know, we need 10 adult men in order to pray. But you may pray as an individual anytime, anywhere. Right? But in this, there are certain prayers that are said in the synagogue that cannot be said without the quorum. And the Torah reading aloud to the congregation cannot be done without a quorum of 10.
So you need 10 men.
Yeah, you need to have, this is, of course, the Reform Conservative will count the women as well, but among the Orthodox, only the men, because there is also strict segregation between the men and the women inside the synagogue. In the Orthodox, the men sit at the front or in the middle, and the women in the back or up above, even in the balcony or in the...
Why separate the men and women?
They are distraction. They are distraction from concentrating on
Yes.